I'm going to explain anxiety to you in such a way that might lift your anxiety forever, or at least significantly decrease it and change the way you think about it. So the thing about anxiety is it's actually really, really similar to superstition. So if you think about maybe your grandparents, or if you grew up in a certain culture, we all tend to have superstitions, right? It's the knock on wood, don't open umbrellas indoors. Comment below what the superstitions are in your culture. I'm Ukrainian, and we don't whistle indoors. That's one of our things. And so we all grew up with certain superstitions because we thought, if you do this, something bad will happen to you. And if you make sure not to do it, you'll be safe. So anxiety is very similar. So what happens is we think, if I think these thoughts, if I worry, then I will prevent something bad from happening. So if I think, like over and over and over again about all of the bad things that could happen, and I kind of run all of those simulations in my mind, then I'll prevent it from happening. And the state of anxiety is essentially the state of constant worry. And so we're worrying as a way to prevent bad things from happening to us, which is essentially like an internal superstition. And the reason we're able to maintain this superstition is because no one else can see it. No one else can see us worrying and worrying and worrying in our minds. But imagine if you were someone that, every time you felt fearful or anxious, you knocked on wood, right? That would be a lot harder to maintain because people would see it, and, you might feel a little bit self-conscious about it. But the worry is essentially the same thing. It's like you knocking on wood, metaphorically in your mind, by worrying over and over again. And I know a lot of you will now say, or at least think, oh, but if I don't worry, then I won't be able to see all of the bad things that might come and plan for them. Well, actually, you can still plan for things that might go wrong, but you need to set yourself a constraint of planning time. So if you'd like, you can actually set yourself like a 10-minute timer on your phone every day, and that can be your worry time. You can worry as much as you want. You can think about all of the things that could go wrong to make sure that you've accounted for this. But after that, you don't need to worry anymore. Like, you've already done the worrying, and any worry beyond that is essentially superstition. And it's just a way that we do, like, it's a thing we do as humans to make ourselves feel better. And you might be someone that, is younger, and they look back on the old generation and they think, oh, these superstitions are so silly. Like, my grandmother has such silly superstitions. But you're the same. Like, your superstitions are just invisible. And there's not much difference between those superstitions and the superstitions we're doing by engaging in constant worry. In actuality, we're actually a lot worse because we're doing it all of the time when our grandparents just did it sometimes.